Today for Devotions with Daniella, we are reading from the second book of Daniella, and in this, the week of our Lord Dr. Taylor Allison Swift giving us Showgirl, we are going to read Trance Talk, Hypnotic Speech and Emotional Control. Cult leaders don't just speak, they perform. Trance talk is a term that gained popularity in the late 20th century in the pseudoscientific fields of neurolinguistic programming and hypnotherapy. It's a hypnotic, rhythmic style of speech that lulls listeners into an emotionally heightened state, making them more open to suggestion. Jim Jones, like so many evangelical and Pentecostal preachers today, started his sermons slow, his voice calm and repetitive, then built to a fever pitch, whipping his congregation into an emotional frenzy. It wasn't just what he said, but how he said it. The pacing, volume shifts, and intensity. By the time he was shouting his words, his followers were feeling them. On the infamous death tape, the recording of his speech in Jonestown that convinced hundreds to commit mass suicide, his grip was absolute. A rhetorical analysis of that final speech shows how calculated his manipulation was. He leaned hard on emotion, pathos, painting a world full of enemies and danger. He used ethos, his supposed authority, to position himself as their only protector. And while he occasionally threw in bits of logos, logic wasn't the goal. Jones knew that if he could get his followers to feel what he was saying, they wouldn't stop to analyze whether it made sense. And in the end, most of them didn't. L. Ron Hubbard took a different approach, crafting a hypnotic language of jargon, engram, auditing, suppressive person, that made Scientology feel exclusive. The more complicated it sounded, the more special it felt. If you didn't quite understand, that just meant you had more to learn, like you were working toward unlocking some ultimate hidden truth. The mystery was the hook. Once you buy into the language, you're already halfway to buying into the belief system. And this concept that you don't understand it, so we get to explain it to you, that is also why Christian-based cults and high control groups really like to use the King James Version, because it is written in archaic English, which most of us don't just easily understand. And so they can say, I've studied this, I'm special, let me tell you what it means. I love, and I'm going to give you all this little gem to tell religious zealots of the Christian variety, that the King James Bible was actually financed by King James to get the Catholic Church off of his back. Sorry, the Church of England off of his back, because he was being so gay in public. Yeah, I love that little nugget. Really chaps evangelicals. Keith Raniere of Nexium perfected the rambling philosopher act with lectures that were long-winded, circular, and vague. Yet followers believed they contained profound truths. If people didn't understand, they assumed it was their failure, not his. This word salad is a common control tactic. Keep followers doubting themselves instead of the leader. Donald Trump, too, uses repetitive, emotionally charged slogans like fake news, witch hunt, lock her up. More than catchphrases, they're chants, mental shortcuts that simplify complex ideas, bypass critical thinking, and reinforce his version of reality. Like Raniere, his zigzagging speeches rely more on emotional resonance than coherence. You may not be able to explain what Raniere or Trump just said, but you sure know how it made you feel. And this is my reminder to give transcripts of what Donald Trump said to the MAGAs in your life, because it makes a lot less sense when you have to read it without all the trickery. Why does trance talk work? It bypasses logic, taps straight into emotions, and make followers feel like they're part of something special, something only they truly understand. From religion to politics, the result is the same: unquestioning belief and unwavering loyalty. Culting of America is not out yet, comes out January 20th. You can get pre-orders attached here, and if you are buying the hard copy from us, you are also going to get the digital and the audio, and it's going to be available in November.